Hi, I'm Nicole, an invasive species management technician at Severn Sound Environmental Association, also known as SSEA. This video is going to teach you about the invasive species giant hogweed and how to identify it.
Giant hogweed is an invasive herbaceous perennial flowering plant and is also listed as a noxious plant under the Government of Ontario's Weed Control Act of 1990. It is part of the carrot family, which is a group of flowering plants that includes species such as wild carrot and wild parsnip. This plant is native to Southeast Asia and was introduced to Ontario presumably as an ornamental plant in the early 1900s because of its overall size and large flowering head. It is commonly found in riparian zones, growing near streams and rivers, where it can reach heights of 3 to 4.5 meters tall. All parts of this plant produce a clear, watery sap that is phototoxic and can cause inflammation of the skin, as well as burns and blistering when exposed to the sun. Symptoms occur within 48 hours and start in as little as 15 minutes. With its large size, established populations can outcompete native plants through rapid growth in the spring, and its large leaves can shade out other plants before they have an opportunity to grow, which can cause low species diversity in that area. This plant grows large leaves that can reach 1.5 meters in width. Mature leaves are compound, meaning that each leaf has several leaflets, whereas seedling leaves are just deeply lobed. Both mature and seedling leaves are serrated, but mature leaves appear much more prickly. Along with its large leaves, giant hogweed can grow quite tall and in very large patches. The picture to the left is a flowering stalk that has grown to about 2 meters in height. Seedlings pointed out in the previous slide will most likely be growing near large patches, as seen in the bottom right photo. To show the large size of these giant hogweed leaves, I wanted to compare them to more commonly found plant species. So on the far left, we can see these giant hogweed leaves compared to the seed head of a dandelion. In the middle, it's compared to the vegetative growth of field horsetail, which is commonly found in forest understories. And then on the far right, you can see where the arrow is pointing to the vegetative growth of a buttercup plant. Giant hogweed stems are key in the identification of this plant. These stems are sturdy and commonly grow to a diameter of 10 centimeters. They are strong and hollow, with coarse but not spiky, bristly white hairs. These hairs growing most densely where the leaves connect to the main stem. They have reddish-purple markings that can appear as dots, blotches, or even cover large portions of the stem, coloring the majority of it in the reddish-purple color, which can be seen in the bottom right photo. The large flower heads can grow up to 1 meter wide and grow on top of stems that are 3 to 4.5 meters tall. The flowers are a cluster of small white flowers growing in an umbel, and these umbels are a common trait of plants in the carrot family. The umbels are comprised of 50 to 150 shorter stalks, all connecting to that main stem, and a single umbel can have over 50,000 tiny white flowers. I'm going to point out how to tell giant hogweed apart from some of its lookalikes. So first up on the left is wild parsnip, which is also a part of the carrot family, and it has those same umbels. The easiest way to tell this plant apart from giant hogweed is when they flower. Wild parsnip has yellow flowers, whereas giant hogweed has white flowers. Next is spotted water hemlock, also a part of the carrot family. Both of these species have the white umbels, and the main way to tell these plants apart is by looking at the leaves. Spotted water hemlock also has a compound leaf, but its leaflets are much more narrow, as I've highlighted in the orange box on the screen. Next is burdock, which from afar, since it has those deep green but large leaves, it can be mistaken for giant hogweed, but once you approach it closer, you can notice that it's not lobed like giant hogweed is. Next, we have wild carrot, also commonly called Queen Anne's lace. This plant also has the white umbels, but is significantly smaller than giant hogweed, only growing to a maximum height of 1.5 meters tall, and its leaves are only about 10 centimeters long. Giant hogweed is one of the first plants to start growing in early spring, which is how it shades out native vegetation and prevents its growth. It's a perennial plant and lives for about 3 to 5 years before it flowers and dies, and the flowering occurs between mid-June to early August. And then in August, it produces seed pods that are green and oval-shaped, growing about 1 centimeter in length. The seed pods eventually turn brown when they dry out, and just one plant commonly produces 10,000 seed pods. Colonies of giant hogweed can start from one seed, and these seeds are most often carried by water to new locations as they grow in riparian zones near streams and rivers. This makes it very important to remove the plant before it flowers. To minimize human-influenced establishment of invasive species like giant hogweed in our natural areas, we can take actions such as brushing foreign material off of our shoes before and after exploring a natural area. This can be done at boot brush stations or with any handheld bristle brush. You can visit our YouTube channel to learn more about boot brushes. If you suspect that you see giant hogweed growing, ensure that yourself, others you are accompanied by, and your pets stay away and report the sighting. Remember, all parts of this plant secrete phototoxic sap and is unsafe to touch. If you do come in contact with the plant, wash the area thoroughly with cold water and soap as soon as possible, as a reaction can occur in as little as 15 minutes. Then keep the area away from sunlight for at least 48 hours. Clothes that have touched the plant can be carefully removed with gloves and then washed. And if you are experiencing any blisters or dermatitis after exposure, please contact a medical professional. If you believe you see giant hogweed growing in the Severn Sound watershed, please contact us through email at invasivespecies@severnsound.ca or give us a call at 705-534-7283, extension 211. And if you have a camera and it is safe to do so, take a photo and try to include the leaves, stem, and flower, and also note the location. I hope you have learned about giant hogweed and how to more easily identify it. Make sure to check out our website at severnsound.ca and follow us on Instagram at severnsoundea and on Twitter at SSEA_SSRAP. To learn more about invasive species, subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out past videos we've made. Thanks for watching.